everybody, this is one part of two individuals, and they just happen to be a jodi in the real sense. They're twins. I asked whether they're identical. They're not. They're fraternal. But then, what's it like setting something up first, before we get into all of the technical, spicy details, setting something up with your twin brother?
It's a lot of fun to build with my twin brother. Actually, like we had this dream of building something together for a long time. And we both went to US to do our PhDs, and I dropped out of the PhD program. He did finish his PhD, went on to become a deep learning researcher, and then I came back to India, started a company called Dunzo, and he was in the US, so we couldn't find time to sort of build together. And finally, when like this whole AI wave was happening, we got a chance to work together, and it's pretty fun because we complete each other's sentences. So it's like it's I can send him to solve a problem that I'm supposed to solve, and it's like having a duplicate in the company. So that's a lot of fun. Yes.
You know what, Alex? I think it's practice trumps theory. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about this app? Maybe point it out in the audience while we continue having this conversation.
It's fascinating because we were speaking outside, ladies and gentlemen, and we were talking about how you would build an application yourself.
Last in, first out. This is all unfiltered.
It's amazing, right? And we actually have somebody from the NDTV team that used this application in anticipation. I don't think he even knew that the founder of Emergent was coming by. This is Ratan from our assignment desk. And basically what he's tried to do is to find an application that can track news feeds on an ongoing basis, because it's his role to alert the organization when something is breaking. And so what he's done is to create an application on Emergent. You use this when, sir?
I tried to make this last night. It's one of the coolest apps I've seen. I've tried my hand with Claude and other Perplexity. So it's a very complex way of actually doing vibe coding. I took just about an hour to develop an ad. I gave the prompt that I want to track one of the best breaking news happening around.
Alex, Ratan, why don't we get the camera right there? Show everyone what the interface is like. Can we get the camera here
so that we can see the screen that Ratan has got?
Alex, if you could hold up the phone and show us what the UI is like.
So why don't we show them what this is about? Come, bring the camera here. No, don't go away from me. Bring the bring the camera here. Bring the camera here. Come on. Let's look at this.
This is the app.
So this is the application. We can showcase it on the screen. Guys, can we blow this up so that we can have Mukund speak about it as well? It says breaking news real-time detection system. It's got a red button saying scan now. It sees 6 breaking news detected in the last 1 hour. It's absolutely fascinating. He's built this in 1 hour.
I don't know how the NDTV product team feels about that, but in 45 minutes, Mukund, and this is with minimal errors.
Right.
This is vibe coding at its finest.
Yeah, so I mean, the way sort of we build things is that you work with the platform just like you would work with a developer, right? It's almost having a development team in the cloud for yourself, and it's enabling anybody in the planet without any programming knowledge, without any knowledge of concepts of software engineering, to sort of actually just build mobile apps, web apps today. And we are seeing like millions of users coming to our platform today and who are building this,
But the concern there is sometimes, because a lot of us have tried doing this, we all wanted to latch on to the AI bandwagon,
right.
But they call this technical debt in the world of technology, the bunch of errors that really creep in over there. How have you overcome those and also managed to maintain that slick UI? Because I saw how he was doing this. It's very prompt-based and it's very intuitive.
Yeah, so I mean, the way sort of we have thought about the entire sort of platform is we are trying to emulate what best software engineering teams in the world do. And what we have done is essentially built our own sort of coding agents from scratch, which, there's a benchmark called SWE-Bench, which is essentially software engineering benchmark where all of the coding agents are getting compared. We were world #1 on that benchmark last year when we launched. And essentially, like a lot of the sort of effort has gone into making sure that we are able to emulate what best software engineering team do. So for example, we have automated testing. So when you build an app, it'll automatically test your app. It will discover what errors are there, what bugs are there, automatically resolve that. We have a feedback system built in. So every time you actually go and test your app, we'll record that session and then replay that for our agent to make sure that those bugs are not coming up again. And because we sort of employ multiple different models, like we're able to harness the best of all, whether it's Gemini, Claude, or OpenAI, or our own models, we're able to sort of extract the best out of those and sort of imbue all this best software engineering practices into the platform itself. Yeah.
I have a question about and I was reading about this, right? So there's something called a maintenance gap. You create something, somebody starts using it, and then ultimately it shouldn't fall off the bandwagon. That's my understanding of it. How do you address that?
Yeah, so I mean, software development in general, like just 20% is writing the code. Rest of it is, testing it, debugging it. How do you sort of take it to production? And essentially what we have built is entire end-to-end platform ourselves. Like, so all of the infrastructure to sort of support hosting, deployment, the way your app runs in production. If there's an error, how do we sort of get that feedback? And because we built this end-to-end, like every single piece of infrastructure and sort of all of these software engineering processes have been built into the platform. We have this tight feedback loop which prevents what we call production drift. So when you build something, you sort of ship it to production, it doesn't work. Today we have almost 99% success rate in terms of people trying to deploy the app. So once you go and deploy the app, and this is where like sort of most of the other platforms are falling short because they're solving piece by piece problem. We're solving end to end the problem. Yeah.
This is the first time, Alex, I think there's going to be a live review for Mukund on stage, but that is how intuitive the app is. We were trying to show it to you guys earlier. In under an hour, this was possible with a simple prompt that Ratan was just mentioning out there, which is build me an app which collates all the RSS feeds, assimilates them, and then gives me that interface. Alex, the future is here for sure.
No, it is, certainly. And what I want to know is, this is possible, and Mukund is explaining why his company stands out from the rest. But the question is, how long can you bank on that? In an age when you guys started 8 months back, you've hit certain milestones that everybody's envious of. I've asked a few other people this in this space. Disruption is real for everybody, including you. How do you stay ahead of that curve?
I mean, I think a lot of effort has gone into making sure that our platform is designed to scale. And also, I mean, consistently we have been sort of staying ahead of the research that's happening in the field, whether it's test time compute, whether it's, like multi-agent system. We were almost the first in the world to sort of build all these things out. And I mean, I think the mode right now in AI is essentially, one, you have good proprietary data, which we are collecting now because millions of builders are building on the platform. We collect all these logs. Every time an application gets built on the platform, actually our agents are improving, self-improving, so that's big. Second, essentially, is the network effect that you're able to create, right? So a lot of these users, when they build this app, they share it with somebody else. A lot of our users are discovering us today because when you publish an Emergent app, there's a build with Emergent batch. A lot of people are clicking on that today and coming to us. And lastly, I think it's the mode of just shipping fast. Like we have a really, really high intensity, small but super strong engineering research team, and like we ship really fast. Like we think of something in the morning, by evening we have something out, and of course we use AI internally a lot to sort of increase our velocity.
And just so everyone knows, this team sits in India.
So yeah, most of the team is in India. Like we have a very small office in SF right now. 3 people are in SF, but most of the team is in India. So,
but are there plans really to scale up the office in Cerebral Valley?
Yeah, we are planning to scale offices both in Bangalore and in SF, and we are hiring. So if people want to join, like this is a great time.
There you go. Yes. An advertisement on national television.
I'm curious, Mukund, because you've been CTO in the past. You mentioned Dunzo, fantastic app as well, and now you're at the heart of the agentic AI story and working on this particular platform. Has your whole rationale and the way you approach the role of a CTO changed? Should people wanting to become CTOs, engineers, also change now basis what's happening in the prompt engineering world?
I mean, I think the role of CTO is evolving, right? They are now, they're spending a lot more time on taking much more deeper technical decision. I think there was a point that came that where CTO's job became a lot more managerial and they were managing a large team. But I think today, like we are almost at an inflection point where the deeper you are in technical stuff, the more leverage you have. And that's why like sort of we pride ourselves in like having like really, really strong engineering team. I think the role of CTO now is to set the direction of the architecture that they're building and also being deep into the details. I think in general, at least I feel that all roles are merging, whether it's product manager, designer, engineer, QA. I think you'll see a lot more of these roles sort of coming together and one person being able to do a lot of those things, yeah.
So a question, right? When you're talking about some of these applications and platforms, the moat that they have is first mover advantage, certainly, and the ability to have really precise, in certain cases, formulations where they have geotagging, various other things, and I'm talking obviously about delivery platforms, etc. Right? How difficult would it be to build something like that on your platform, and how difficult would it be therefore for somebody to disrupt that space?
Yeah, I think software development is going to become super easy, and I think by end of the year, I feel like people will be able to create like an app like Dunzo, on Emergent with just a prompt.
Whoa.
And I mean, you can see the pace at which sort of software coding agent acceleration is happening right now. I feel that by, I think cost of software is going to get commoditized pretty fast. And what's going to sort of be, the edge is going to be your taste, like the ideas that you have, how fast are you able to distribute, how fast can you experiment, right? And I think people are going to move to more and more complex sort of.
A year.
Less than a year, yes.
Less than a year.
Less than a year. The real question is, will I be able to build the app on Emergent faster and sooner than my delivery comes on an app like Dunzo?
I think for most apps, yes. Yeah, simple apps, yeah. But I think it like today there is a lot of leverage in somebody who's learning to vibe code, because that gives you like a very easy way to sort of learn how to work with agents. I think in future all of us are going to be working with agents, managing our agents, right? And I think vibe coding is like a very easy way to sort of get started and practice like, hey, what does it feel like to work with a really capable agent which can actually do hours of work at a time. Yeah.
Any tips that you would have to somebody who wants to use your application, just out of curiosity, somebody who actually wants to build something?
Yeah, so we have a lot of builders on the platform today. I was talking to somebody from Pune yesterday, and he had his startup shut down because he they ran out of money, and they went to a dev shop to actually buy to build a new software that they wanted to build. Dev shop quoted them like a 40 lakh rupees bill, and they built it on Emergent like under 2,000 rupees. And they have like 1,000 users live on that platform today, right? And this is somebody who has no technical background. And so I think the tip is like just to get started early, right? Like, you should actually also, like when you're building something, it's best to have like 2-3 different versions of that getting built in parallel. So you can actually see the differences and learn from the output that you're getting. Also, if you generally, I would say that start with the hardest thing first, right? So that you have the core problem cracked before you build on the other things. And I mean, I think those two things are easy for people to get started now. Yeah.
I have one more question, which is obviously in the process of building to where you are at right now, you've put it through the paces as well, you and your brother.
Yeah.
What is the most whacked out or interesting application that you've built using your own software?
So I have this software. It's still getting built right now. It's not fully built, but I have this multi-interview screen where I can take interview of like 5 people together.
Job interviews,
right? Because we are taking a lot of interviews, and I wanted to sort of parallelize. That's the app that I'm building on Emergent right now. Yeah.
Can you think of interviewing 5 people on national television like that?
Definitely not, and I can't even do the things you do when it comes to market hours with so many people, and of course, Shiv and the team when it comes to prime time. What an absolute pleasure. Kudos to you for a made-in-India product, doing something which is genuinely going to shape the revolution going forward. And I'm pretty certain, Alex, we're going to break for lunch shortly, but I think we've given them more purpose for lunch. You got to download the app or use it, and then come up with maybe your own little contribution to the AI story, Alex.
Absolutely. You said it. No more needs to be said. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Mukund Jha.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.